Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan. So for today's video I thought I would do the first of my Halloween series. So for the first video I'm just gonna do a nice witch look. So like just kind of, it's not gonna be like Elphaba or any like kind of things like that, like not anything from like Wizard of Oz. It's gonna be kind of like a nice kind of like glam type look, just so like people can wear it to parties and stuff, especially if you don't want to do like kind of that kind of less attractive or like less pretty witch makeup. It's still gonna be like a bit on the kind of more grungy goth side, but it isn't gonna be like Elphaba. Like I'm not gonna wait to paint my face green or anything. But yeah, just before I get started, if you want to follow my Instagram, it'll be linked down below. Coming up for Halloween I am going to be posting 30 different looks. So this is actually look one of that. I'm going to be posting 30 different makeup looks for Halloween, for 31 sorry, for the whole of October. I'm also going to be posting loads of TikToks to do with them. So if you want to follow my Instagram and TikTok, it'll all be linked down below, especially if you want to kind of keep updated with stuff like that. And for the next like 6 videos, like including this one, for the next 6 videos are all going to be Halloween based. So yeah. So I'm just going to get started. So for my primer I'm going to go in with the Ordinary's High Adherence Silicone Primer. I'm kind of putting the majority of it around where my pores like actually do kind of like are a bit bigger, and just trying to kind of fill them in. Before I go into my like foundation stuff, I want to kind of make my face a bit more like gaunt. So I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light Palette by KVD Beauty, and I'm going to go in with this middle shade. And the reason I'm going to go in with the kind of darker, I think this is the darkest shade in this palette, is because it's going to get covered by the foundation anyway, so I kind of want it to still be noticeable. So I've just got a load on my brush like that, and I'm just going to kind of like see where my cheekbone actually does, like where my cheeks do come in a wee bit. I don't know how well you're going to see that on camera, but they do come in a bit here. So I'm just going to follow that line. And then just bring it down like that, just to give the illusion that my cheekbones are higher and that my cheek comes in a lot more than it actually does. Obviously I've got quite chubby cheeks, so like I do need to kind of like make them thinner than they are. And I'm also going to go around my jawline a bit, just to make it look a bit sharper. One thing I'm going to do actually is go a little under my lips, just to give the like a shadow illusion, and like put some here as well. Yeah, I think that'll do just now. And I'm going to try and blend it in a little bit with this, but I don't want to blend in too much, so I'm just going to kind of go over it lightly. See, like that already kind of like makes it look a bit, like gives that illusion already. So I'm gonna fix it a little bit because this one's coming in a lot more than the other one is. I think I've blended it too high. Yeah, I think that'll do just now. Also, when I put the foundation over it, it'll make it look less like intense and it will look a lot better. But I'm gonna go do my eyebrows off camera and then start one eye, and then I'll come back. So I've done this eye off camera, and I'm gonna show you how to do it on this one. So I used this cut crease canvas as my eyeshadow base. I'm gonna go with this e.l.f. Gel liner, and I'm just gonna get some of it onto a brush and just pack it onto my eyelid. The reason I'm doing this is so that when I put the black eyeshadow on top, but it's going to be way more like dark. It's just going to look better. So I'm going to blend out this black a tiny wee bit, so I'm just going around with a big brush and I'm just kind of buffing out the edges. And then using my Myself and Mmmmitchell palette, I'm going to go in with the black shade, which is called Mafia. And I'm just going to go on, I'm just going to do that with a packing brush. So I'm just packing that all over the lid. Going in with this dark brown shade Monday, I'm going to buff out the edges a tiny bit. So I'm just going to start buffing out the edges and giving it a more smoky look. So yeah, I'm just kind of buffing that out a wee bit and bringing it out a bit of the edge. And then with this lighter brown here, called Meh, I'm going to buff it out even more. And again, I'm just going to bring it out towards the edge. And then with a clean fluffy brush, I'm just going to buff out all of that. And then I'm going to go back in with my black. And just buff that in a little bit. And that's all I'm going to do for the eyes just now. Just really dark and like grungy. I just really like it. But yeah. So I'm going to go in with my foundation. And I'm going to go in with my ordinary Serum foundation. Because I was using like black eyeshadow, that's why I've done my eyes first. Or like most of my eyes first. Just because it can have a lot of fallout and it's really hard to get off of foundation. That I'm just going to do my foundation the way I normally would. So obviously it's covered that kind of cream contour a bit, but not loads. Like it's still slightly visible underneath the foundation, but I will just need to go over it a wee bit. And to give myself an even kind of paler complexion, instead of using a concealer, I'm going to use my Cut Crease canvas as a concealer, just because I don't have a white one. But obviously if you do have a white one, you would be better just using that. But I don't, and I haven't had time to buy one. So I'm just using it to kind of highlight some like places on my face that I would usually highlight. And I'm just doing it to give myself a more like kind of washed out and pale complexion. And then I'm going to set it with my translucent powder by Makeup Revolution. And I'm just setting anywhere that I've put my concealer. For my bronzer, before I go in with my actual bronzer shade, I'm actually going to go in with Lava Rock from my Vieve Essentials palette on a kind of small brush. I'm actually going to use this one that I used before, and I'm just going to do it to kind of map out the shape, but just to make it more kind of dark. So I'm trying to press really lightly. And then with my bronzer brush, I'm just going to try and buff it in a little bit. Yeah, that's worked out quite well. I'm just going to go in a little more. So I'm just doing circular motions to get it so it's not too heavy-handed. So I haven't put any bronzer or contour onto this brush. This is just kind of like leftover product and buffing in what's already on my face. Yeah, I think that's kind of went really nicely. So I'm just going to buff out here just because it looks a little kind of solid there. But yeah, I think that's worked out really well. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side, just following where I went last time. So I've actually just added a little bit more, but instead of buffing it out with a bronzer brush, I'm just going to keep going with this one. And I'm just trying to diffuse the line so it doesn't look too solid like that. I think that looks really good. So with like stuff like this, you just kind of have to be patient and not rush it. Because obviously these like kind of dark colours are a lot harder to get off your foundation than like other dark colours. So to kind of go with the contour, for like kind of places I would usually contour, I'm going to go in with my Vieve Modern Bronzer and go in with this one. So this is the kind of darker one and the less like warm toned one, and I'm just going to go in really lightly, like around my forehead and my jawline and a little on my nose. For blush, I'm going to go in with my Fetish palette by KVD Beauty as well, and I'm actually going to go in with the purple blush here, which is called Coven, which is very fitting. And the reason I'm going to go in with the purple is just because it feels like, I feel like it's going to be, like it's going to kind of give that kind of washed out tone that I'm kind of looking for. And like it won't be as bright as the pink or as warm as the orange. Like I think it'll just give me the kind of vibe that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go really lightly on the tops of my cheek. Yeah, so like it's not, it still adds like that kind of nice bit of colour, but it's not too much, and it's still kind of cool toned. And I've not added too much, I've just added like enough for it to give me some colour back in my face. For highlighter, I'm just going to go in with my Glazed Donut one just because it's my favourite. I just think it looks really nice, but I'm going in quite lightly. And I'm just going to add some kind of around the temples on my nose and chin, and then up here as well. So I'm going to go back in with my eyes. I'm going to go back in with the black from the Me, Myself and Mmmmitchell palette, so the shade Mafia. So I'm just stamping it into place because I don't want to drag it in case I get too much fallout. And then I'm going to blend it out again with the shade Monday, which is the dark brown I first used. And I'm just going to try and do that really lightly. And as I do that, I'm just bringing it out as well. And then I'm going to go back in with the shade Me, which was the lighter brown I used, and just smoke it out even more. I'm bringing the colours quite low down as well to make my eyes look a bit more like kind of sunken in. And then I'm going to highlight my, I'm just going to highlight the inner corner with my highlighter that I used on my cheeks, so Glazed Donut by Ofra. And then I'm going to add lashes and stuff later, but I'm going to quickly finish my face. So I've decided to do this under my eyes. So all I done was, I've got this Kohl pencil by Wet n Wild, and I just kind of dragged it down quite lightly just to kind of get like a basic kind of pattern. And then going in with my tattoo liner by KVD, I just started drawing lines down, and I'll zoom it in a bit. So it's not a big deal if they're a bit messy. I've tried to make them like look a bit maybe shaky. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do as well is do a little half moon here. So I'm going to do three kind of points. Just like that. And then just fill it in. I think I'm going to go over it with the gel, with the liquid liner. And then underneath, just like that. I'm going to do my lashes and everything off camera, but just before I do that, I'm going to go in with my lipstick. So I'm going to go in with this black one from Revolution Pro. So this is the Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigment, and this is the one in Bad Vibes, so it's the black one. So I'm just going to go in with this. I'm actually going to see if I can kind of align my lip with this Kohl pencil. So I'm just trying to make sure it looks as pigmented as possible. So this is the finished look. I really like it. I think it's a nice take on kind of witch makeup. I think it's nice. It's pretty, but it's still quite kind of Halloween-y and grungy. I really like it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I hopefully will see you next week for my second Halloween video, and hopefully you'll have followed my TikTok and everything like that. If you want to follow my Instagram, my TikTok, and that's all linked down below. And if you could like and subscribe, that would honestly mean the world to me. But yeah, thank you so much. Bye!